A lot of the Jamaican population are of the opinion, including myself, that a lot of these news outlets are aligning themselves with political parties, using the medium to destroy, discredit, and dismantle political officials. And we see throughout the campaign, and we farm this premise throughout the campaign season, because we see how a lot of these news outlets use misinformation, propaganda, twist words, all of that to tear down the Prime Minister. The election over, but the tearing down, the discrediting still continues. So on today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about why this is taking place same way although the election finished. If this is something that you're currently interested in, stick around as we get into the video right now. The general election just finished, and already the wheels of propaganda has already begun to turn. We see this coming at the farm of a lot of these news articles and headline, and how these news outlets choose to word their headline. Wording the headline in a negative subliminal way, putting negative images in the minds of the Jamaican people. And they do this when it comes to the Prime Minister and the Jamaican Labour Party. And this is why you have a lot of Jamaicans out here running around with false narrative, standing behind false narrative, and willing to fight out a good party and a good leader and these false narrative. Even the other day, Miss Diane Jackson Miller, she did a piece on the election and what she thinks Prime Minister Andrew Holness should do, what his next step should be. And it wasn't received well by a lot of Jamaican people, including myself, because there's a lot of argument that she made that I'm not in support of. Guys, I want to check out this video clip, and then we're going to come back and discuss a lot of these issues that I have in this video.
Having said that though, what can we expect from Holness himself as Prime Minister? Because he's now secured his place in history. First JLP Prime Minister to win a third term in victory against the odds. I think it highly likely that Holness might step down during this term in office. He has nothing left to prove. He's done everything he wanted to do. He's won that third term. He's also made significant improvements. He can point to all kinds of improvements in Jamaica, improvements in crime. Murders are down. He can point to infrastructural work. He can point to records like the lowest unemployment rate that we've recorded in Jamaica's history. So yeah, he has all these achievements he can boast of, right? If he decides to hold on as Prime Minister and contest a fourth election leading his party, he risks having to leave on a losing note. And why do that? As I said, he has nothing left to prove. So we might start to see maneuverings in the Jamaica Labour Party before too long if they start to look to succession and the possibility of a new leader. Because remember now, if Holness steps down, right, and there's a new JLP leader and a new Prime Minister, he's going to want to do that in enough time to give whoever is the new leader, whoever is the new Prime Minister, enough time to settle and solidify their lead on the party going into that next election. So that would have to happen about midterm or so to make sure any kind of fractures or splits that develop as a result of a leadership contest with the best in the world, with the best will in the world. Sometimes you can't avoid that, to ensure that, as I said, any new leader would have time to bring the party back together in time for the next election.
And this is the first issue that me have and well-thinking Jamaican people have, that you were not talking like this throughout the campaign. You listen to the first part of the video, Blueprinters, that she acknowledged all the good that the Prime Minister is doing. Then why you never do that in the campaign time? You made no significant emphasis to do all of that, to acknowledge the good. You didn't. You weren't making emphasis to make the Jamaican people know that, hey, the Prime Minister is doing an amazing job. Crime is down, unemployment is down, we have a good economy. You weren't. You were more focused on the negative aspect, the propaganda aspect, the lie aspect that was circulating around the Prime Minister. The 28 bank account, the investigation by the IC, the SSL scandal. You were more focused on that. And a lot of news outlets were more focused on that. They never made an effort to highlight and edify the Jamaican people about the good that the Prime Minister is doing. And this is why a lot of well-thinking Jamaican people find you guys to be biased and come to the conclusion that you hate the Prime Minister and that you guys are attacking the Prime Minister. Because when you have well-thinking people, I look upon educated people and expect educated people supposed to think in an educated fashion, and they are not, what do you expect from them? They're going to say you're biased. Them have to say you're biased. Them have to say you're biased. No one can blame them to come to that conclusion, because you made no emphasis to let the Jamaican people know that this Prime Minister is doing a great and an amazing job. And this are the next issue we have, Miss Miller. Why to you the Prime Minister should step down? Why? Why a Prime Minister that the Jamaican people elect for a third term? A Prime Minister that the Jamaican people comfortable with his leadership? A Prime Minister that the Jamaican people are satisfied with his performance? Why shouldn't he get a third term? A fourth term? Why? Remember, you people gave PJ Patterson a fourth term. PJ Patterson was in governance from 1992 up to 2006. A man that shagged up Jamaica, that is known to shag up Jamaica, that under his governance, Jamaica murder rate go up, skyrocket, up in the double digits. That under his governance, unemployment rate plummet. That under his governance, the Jamaican economy was crap. And you guys gave that man a fourth term. Now we have a government that is actually performing. Actually performing. Crime is down. Unemployment is down. We have a good net GDP. The economy is growing. And you are telling the Jamaican people that this man should run for a fourth term. Chances are he's going to lose. How? When a man that did nothing never lose. One time I think PJ Patterson did cemented in a parliament. Him couldn't move. PJ Patterson, I never vote him get vote out. I'll him resign. Maybe up to now, he would have be Prime Minister same way. And that is how the PNP mindset work. Because them believe to themselves, say, yo, here what? The Labour right government nothing in a power. That everything what we are experiencing right now, it should be done by the People's National Party. And they will keep the People's National Party in power, having them fucking up the economy, giving them ample time to get it right. All if it take 20 years and people dead off and suffer, they will vote them in, because in their mind, Jamaica is a PNP country and Labour right nothing of the country. That is how them think. So it no matter what Andrew Holness do, him could have make milk run from the river, line the street with gold. They will always try to vote him out. They will always try to discredit him. They will always try to bring him down. And this is why I come to the conclusion that a vast majority of Jamaican people are suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. Blueprint family, I don't know if you guys understand what Stockholm Syndrome looks like. So I'm going to explain it in its simplest form. Stockholm Syndrome is when a person is forced to live in a bondage and sufferation for a long period. When that person go through that sufferation and bondage, them start to fall in love with the person that has suffered them. Even go as far as to justify that person's behavior and also defending that person and their behavior. And we see this every single day when it comes to the supporters of the People's National Party. The PNP had them under sufferation for too long, and they developed this Stockholm Syndrome towards the party, and this is where the dietedness come from. And they don't know that they're suffering from a mental sickness. The JLP didn't do that to their supporters because the JLP never in a power that long. And this is why you have members of the JLP party that hold their party leaders accountable. That if them now work, they will vote them out or they will refrain from voting. You don't get that over the PNP side. You don't. And they have passed on this mental illness to their children and grandchildren, telling them that, hey, no matter what, you're supposed to vote PNP. And that is why you have the country like this. That is why you have the country like this. That is why the country is ready to get rid of a good leader for a party that is known to fuck up the country. And that caused the problem. And I don't think a vast majority of Jamaicans understand the level that the PNP has destroyed this country. Them destroy this country financially. Them destroy this country economically, and them destroy this country mentally, putting a vast majority of the Jamaican people in a cult-like tribal mindset. And this is the result when you keep a government that is not performing in power for too long. You know, see how the supporters them behave. You know, so them behave. Them behave in a very primitive state that you as a well-thinking Jamaican cannot understand or fathom, because you right here thinking that, hey, this person actually are the good. This party actually at work, the country is in a better state and they cannot see it. To you, if you're not willing to talk freely, it coming like madness. Them even create them own delusion that the country has suffer and them has suffer just because them want them party for come in power. Basic Stockholm Syndrome behavior. Because when you have a person in captive and even police go for rescue them from that person that have them under sufferation and bondage, the victim will literally fight for go back to the oppressor. And we see that in the comrades them behavior. So when I tell you, say Jamaican people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, a serious thing me attack. PNP members are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. them need some serious help, because if they don't get that help and them get the opportunity to poison the next generation, we are only going to go back to where we are coming from. Cause best believe they are going to reinforce their numbers, and they're going to try with everything they have to get their party in power. Alright, blueprinters, we'll come to the ending of another video. If you found this video very informational, you already know what to do. Destroy the like button. Also, if you're a new viewer here, subscribe and turn post notification on to get notified anytime I drop a new video. Also, remember to share the video with friends and family so they too can become a part of the Blueprint movement. Also, guys, I want to thank you for your love, your support, and all the videos on the channel, and I want to know it's deeply appreciated. Guys, if you're a new viewer here, we as Blueprinters will live by 3 rules. Those 3 rules are: keep grinding, keep hustling, and remember, success is in the blueprint. See you later, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.